What up? What up? What up, everybody? What up? Happy Friday. Good morning. Good morning. Talking about some credit card hacks so we can keep more money in our pocket. You know what I'm saying? Avoid some interest. You know, reduce these credit card fees, all that good stuff. I know it's early. Y'all on your way to work. It's that holiday season. You know what I mean? Kevin, how you doing, brother? How you doing? Trust the system. What's going on, y'all? What's going on? This morning, we're going to talk about a couple of hacks that we can use with our credit cards, a couple of tips and tricks so that we keep more money in our pocket. You know what I'm saying? Because these things can definitely run us ragged over the holiday season, and we not trying to be left holding the bag. You feel me? So just it's early, just letting a few people come in. If you're watching this, if you're seeing this, leave a like, leave a comment, share it out with other people. You know, we're gonna definitely get into it. We definitely gonna get into it. So super early. Hopefully y'all having a great week. You had a great weekend. Yeah, absolutely. I wish I would have got the American Airline business card instead of the personal one because I got the American Platinum, the personal. It's dope. It had a great sign up bonus. Great sign up bonus. I got like 65,000. But it's also reporting on my personal report. So I'd much rather be able to use it freely as a business card. That way the usage doesn't show up on my personal credit. So I definitely would get the business card. Also, the Barclays Aviator card. I would get that too because right now they got a promotion for like 75,000 points. And all you got to do is just make a purchase with the card. It doesn't matter the dollar amount. If you make a purchase with the Barclays Aviator, they'll give you 75,000 points. So I get both of them joints, honestly, if it's just for the sake of hitting the sign up bonus. But so let's get into it, right? And that was a great question to kick us off. Definitely appreciate that. So, a couple of credit card hacks. Right? There's a lot of different ways that we can either avoid fees from these credit cards or reduce the fees. So, one tip and trick that a lot of people don't know is that if you have a credit card with an annual fee, especially talking about the American Express Platinum or the Chase Sapphire Reserve, these type of top tier credit cards actually have downgrades. So, for instance, if you have the American Express Platinum, which is $695 a year, you can lower it or call into American Express and say, hey, I want to change this to the American Express Gold Card, which right now is only $295 a year. If you have the Chase Sapphire Reserve, that's $550 annually. You can reduce that or call in the Chase and say, hey, I want to change this to the Chase Sapphire Preferred, which only $95. And let's say if you had both, or if you have a Amex Platinum and the Reserve, we're looking at almost what $1,300 annually just in credit card fees. So by reducing these cards or doing what they call a product change into a lower tier card, you can save over what was it like almost $1,000 just by switching what type of card you have. Now, of course, we know that each card has its own pros and cons and its benefits. But the great thing about doing this with your credit card is, of course, it's going to save you money in the long run because you almost like with the in Chase, you wiped out the fee. You go from 550 to $95. The other thing is that later on, you'll still have the option to upgrade the card back to one of the higher tier cards. And if with a company like American Express, one of the great things is that When you downgrade your card, so you go from American Express Platinum to, let's say, down to American Express Gold, or even down to American Express Green Card, once you downgrade after about a year, what will happen is that American Express will send you an offer to upgrade your card and offer you a bonus. So it's also another way to hack the system, especially with American Express, so that you can continue to get bonuses on a card you already had. The other great thing is that it does, when you're downgrading your credit cards to another product, it doesn't close your account. So you're able to keep all of that age with that account. Big Ben was good, brother, was good. You're able to keep all of the age on that account. You'll be able to keep the points that you accrued on that account, and it keeps you in a great position. Also, with, let's say, in particular with American Express, it also will allow you to become eligible for new promos. So in the instance of the American Express Platinum, there have been people have reported that they've been able to go from an American Express Platinum and downgrade all the way to an American Express Blue card. The blue cards are free. There's no annual fee whatsoever. And over, let's say, after 12 months or so, those same people will start to get promos and incentives to upgrade the card to, let's say, the green or to the gold, or even back up to the platinum card. So it's a great way to stay in that ecosystem and kind of just manufacture extra bonuses every year. And you don't run into any loopholes, or not loopholes, any obstacles that a lot of credit card enthusiasts, yes, that a lot of credit card enthusiasts run into when they're churning through credit cards. This kind of allows you to churn without really churning, because you're not closing any of the accounts, you're not losing the age. And from the credit profile standpoint, it helps your credit profile because you're not, the banks don't see a lot of new accounts being open and closed over and over again all over your credit report. They don't want to see that when it comes to lending, right? So that's downgrading your card. Another way of saving money on your credit card, especially now it's holiday season, we're going to be shopping. Now I'm a late shopper. I don't know about y'all, but I still have not gone shopping at all. Like nothing. So whatever they got is whatever they got. You know what I'm saying? As far as what's in the store by the time I feel like going shopping. But during this time, something we can do, I'm gonna answer that, Ben. During this time, another thing that we can do is always call or check your app to see if you qualify for any lower APRs. Even if you don't qualify, even if you don't qualify for a lower APR, call and ask them. You can normally call, or you can just ask the question via the chat. I know with American Express at one point, with one of my cards, the card originally had like a 21% interest rate. And I just asked, I was like, hey, are there any promos available? And they were like, yeah, we have 6.99% available. And I was like, well, from 21%? They're like, yeah, it's for about, I think at the time it was for about 9 months, 9 billing cycles. I was like, I'll take it. Going from 21% to 6.99% every day, all day. That's a no-brainer. You could do that with all of your credit cards randomly. It doesn't even matter. There's really no timetable for how often you should or can do this. Call them, send a message, even every month, because you never know. Another company, I mean, I have Capital One. A lot of people hate Capital One, but I have Capital One. Capital One is really good with offering zero interest balance transfers, especially on the Saver card. They send me they send me a zero interest balance transfer at least once a year. And the zero interest balance transfer typically is good for like 12 months. So if you're in a situation where you have a credit card that you're paying interest on because you're carrying a balance for whatever reason, not here to judge, and one of your other cards have one of these zero interest balance transfer promos, boom, go ahead, take advantage of that. Transfer from one card to the other card. Now you just killed off the interest for a year. And you did this once again without having to open any new credit cards. So you're able to save interest and you did it without having any hard pulls on your credit. So your credit score is still looking good and you didn't have to worry about filling out any new applications. You just accepted an offer. Um, so I love asking for reducing my APR. I do it all the time, and it's super simple, right? You're in the same, even if they tell you no with any of these situations, whether it's reducing the interest rate or doing a product change, even if they say no, you're in the same exact situation that you were already in. So you don't lose anything. You only have things to gain. Speaking of another request that we can make to save money on our cards, what is asking for the fee to be waived. Like, like you can do that. You could just say, hey, even if you were, listen, it has happened. I'm with y'all, even if you've been late before and they charge you a late fee and they charge you some kind of late penalty interest, you can still call them and ask them to reverse the late fee, reverse that penalty APR. It never hurts to ask. You can just ask them, hey, whatever situation happened, you were, the auto pay was messed up for some reason, you were sick, the card got compromised, whatever may have happened, right? Ask them for an accommodation, ask them to reverse the late fee as an accommodation to you, ask them to switch over that penalty APR as an accommodation to you. All they can do is say yes or no. If they say yes, you up. Another thing when it comes to another request is asking if they can waive your annual fee. Ask them. Doesn't hurt. So if you have a strong relationship with that company, you've been with them for a while, you always use the card, you steady swiping with the card, they want to keep you as a customer. A good card, right? This is normally when we're talking about cards that really care about their clients, like American Express, Chase, even Capital One with the Venture X. They're stepping up their game. I ain't gonna hold y'all. They stepping up their game because, like, before the Venture X came out, Capital One customer service was trash, absolute garbage. Like it, stupid. They were terrible. But now that they came out with the Venture X, they opening up some lounges. They're trying to appeal to a more prime customer. They know they not going to be able to keep a prime customer with that trash customer service. Like they already know that. Those of us that are transactors with our credit cards, meaning we use it and pay it off, we don't got time for no bad customer service, like at all. So ask them to waive the fee. That with the platinum, that could save you $6.95. With the gold, and now the gold actually is going to be $3.95 if y'all don't get it by, I think it's February. The Amex Business Gold is going to go up to $3.95. Ask them to waive the fee. A strategy that y'all can use to do this is tell them you're going to leave. Tell them, if let's say they tell you that they can't downgrade the card, the next thing you say, okay, well, who can I talk to Yeah, definitely, Ben. I know you wasn't messing with Capital One before they came out with the Venture X. I already know. Um, if they won't downgrade the card, then tell them you want to cancel it. A good company is going to offer you some kind of retention. That would either be waiving your fee altogether, or they'll do something like, okay, we'll give you 40,000 points for you to stay, which in some cases may offset the cost of the annual fee, right? There's some negotiation there. Another thing that you may be wondering, so I already paid my annual fee. What can I do then? Ask them to credit it to your account if you already paid it. Even if it even if it's been several months since you paid it, you can still ask them to credit your account. You still ask them to credit your account. That's it. Another trick. Now this is a little, it's a little shisty. I ain't gonna hold you. It's a little bit. So let's keep it between us, right? Don't tell nobody else this one. With certain credit cards that have annual fees, if you cancel the card within 30 days of them charging you the annual fee, they will refund you the annual fee. So that's another way you can save money and avoid those fees. Last but not least, if you don't even feel like doing any of this, you can cancel the card. I mean, you just, it is what it is. You tired, you don't feel like trying to figure out due dates, statement dates, interest rates, points, miles, protections. Don't none of it matter. You called, you hate the customer service people, you hate the app, like you hate everything about the card. You always can just close that junk, cut your losses, leave it where it lies. Right. So those are four ways. At first I was going to do three, but we ended up going to like five or six ways of hacking the credit cards so that you can start saving money. Another money saving tip with using credit cards: to avoid interest, pay your balance off in full before the due date. Before the due date. Pay it off in full. You will not be charged interest because you killed it. If your account is zero, they charge you a daily interest rate for the amount that you're carrying on the balance. When you pay it off, they can't charge you interest on nothing, right? So pay it off before the due date, and you have officially killed the interest. You will never have to worry about paying interest again. Right. So hopefully these things helped y'all. Let me go back up to Ben's question. Any advice on getting out of Amex pop-up jail? Folks that get the pop-up that say they can't get a bonus if they sign up for another Amex card. So with the pop-up jail situation, what Ben is talking about is, so sometimes, if let's say each card with Amex has different terms and conditions. Some of them have what's called a lifetime language, meaning that like with the American Express Platinum, it'll say something like you can only get a bonus for this exact card one time in your entire life. And if you try to, maybe a juicy bonus pops up, like right now, I think there's even like 120,000 point bonus floating around, depending on what where you look. And let's say you're enticed to get that bonus. If you've already had that card, even let's say 5 years ago, what will happen is that you'll get a pop-up saying, oh, you've already applied for this card, you're not eligible, but you can continue to apply if you want. Now, as far as a workaround, there aren't many workarounds for that, minus just applying for a different version of the card. So if you did the personal platinum, then go for the business platinum. And I've also heard that, some folks say that the lifetime language isn't necessarily lifetime, is really more around 10 years. The only other way I know of to get around that particular pop-up is if somehow you are able to delete yourself out of American Express's database. That would be the only other way I know of to get out of pop-up jail. And of course, if you are player two, meaning you have a spouse, a friend, even boyfriend, girlfriend that can also apply for these credit cards, you can do that as well. Another hack for pop-up could be another workaround is employee cards. Depending on your business, how you've been using that business charge card, you may be offered employee cards that also have a bonus when you spend. This could be sometimes it's super generous. It's like spend 2,000 to get 20,000 points per employee card, which is crazy. FYI, Amex can issue up to 99 employee cards. So imagine getting a bonus like that 99 times. Those are the ways that I know of to work around the pop-up jail situation. Did somebody send? Oh, okay. You still here, Ben? Ben, you still on? I just saw your request to go live. Can you hear me?
I just, bro, you were up early working.
Yeah. I know you like to go on late. I like to get up early, get the ideas out, because you just never know. I never know what I'm going to be doing later that night, or just might be asleep. So I like to get it out the way, have it floating on the algorithm for a little bit. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm good. You're up
I
early.
love
It's
this
it's
topic.
like 6 a.m. over there.
And I mean, I'm like waking up doing breakfast and like, he's doing a call. I mean, if I come join in, they're gonna have some people come join in, and listen to this good stuff that you're talking for sure.
Man, I definitely
Look at we
appreciate it.
popped up the people in the
Already it
room already,
doubled. It
right?
doubled. I appreciate it, Ben. Yeah, man. So, regarding the pop up, have you heard any other ways of working around it?
You know, I had students who asked me this because I've actually had a couple students recently. So here is their strategy, which totally makes sense. And you know, actually at the last conference, I heard one of the speakers talk about her strategy with her clients. And here's the interesting thing: many of us know that if you go with the blue bank early on, you can be able to get business cards, you can get personal cards. So a lot of them kind of stay in that ecosystem early on. The folks up, you know, who can qualify with them, and they'll start getting the preferred, the sapphire, bunch of cards, and then they finally start to explore Amex, and they may not have one. And I've had now two scenarios, two clients and students who said they get the pop up, even though they've never had, and they're not over 520. Some of them may be over 524 at this point, but it's natural. They have some business cards, but they have a solid credit. They're great. They don't have an Amex card, and all of a sudden they get this pop up, and they're like, I don't even have an Amex card. And some of it has been lately now been coming out that Amex is kind of like, not that they're not going to give a bonus, but I think they're trying to slow down certain people who are gamers. And they're going, you know, historically, the note is if you have a card already and you want to get another one, they may get a pop up saying, yeah, you know, they want to see you actually spend on their cards as opposed to just getting cards and gain more bonuses without actually spending on the card. So the advice has been, you know, spend on the actual Amex card. But if you don't have one, you know, now becomes like, what is the scenario? How do you get in? Do you go with a different card? Do you try a different card, like you mentioned? Maybe you just try a different card, because I know a lot of times they're trying to go for the when we're looking at Amex because of lifetime, like I'm going for the 120. I'm going to try to find that link that has the biggest bonus, and then
Yep.
that's what pops up.
Yep.
I've heard people say too, maybe if you go through a referral link or if you go through different kind of links, try that out. So if any of you have that scenario,
Yeah.
but also love to hear if anyone has any advice on that, or if you guys gone through that, it'd be really
Yeah.
interesting to hear as well.
Yeah, that's a interesting point where they have pop-up jail and they never been or they never had an MS card. One thing I would ask is have they ever had an employee, I mean an employer issued them a employee card with Amex because that actually counts too. I had actually a lot of friends and clients who they were already in Amex system due
Right.
to having an employee card from like the 90s.
Like a corporate card,
Yeah,
right?
like
Like
a
an
corporate
employee
card.
corporate card.
Yeah, from like the 90s and they just never, left the system. Like I was like, wow. And even they were surprised cuz I think one person I helped them up get, the platinum and on there it said members since 1996 and they were like I haven't had an Amex card. I worked at I forgot whatever company it was, but it was like I worked with them in the 90s. They gave me an employee card, so maybe that's what they're talking about. And that's the only thing I could think of. And maybe they were never issued the card, but maybe their employee or employer, sorry, maybe put them into the database as potentially having a card or something like that. But that's very interesting that they don't qualify. But
Yeah, they
piggybacking
just get
off
the
of what you
card. They just
said,
won't get the bonus.
yeah,
They
like
would get the card.
piggybacking,
They just may not get the bonus.
yeah, because recently Amex has been becoming more and more strict. Like they've been issuing a lot more financial reviews to even their top clients who spend a lot with longstanding relationships. They've been doing a lot more limit reductions, even on their charge cards. They've been doing limit reductions like across the board, just evaluating taking a deep dive into everyone's financials because American Express they're monitoring you monthly. Any change to your credit report, and they'll cap that card real quick. They'll cap that platinum or that gold or the charge card real fast, real fast.
I wanted to ask you something, and
Hmm.
and it's this past year, I think I've seen you at in the last year I've seen you at two conferences, and one was at the Frequent Traveler University, the other one was CardCon in Nashville and DC. Can you tell me, and I think this is good for folks who haven't been to like a credit card or points and miles conference, give us an idea. Was that the first that you went to this past year, or have you been to these types before in the past?
So as far as a credit card and travel conference, this year was my first year attending. And so what I really enjoy about it is the diverse community. I mean, even at what was the travel? Where was it we were at in
Frequent
DC?
Traveler University, the one
Frequent
in DC.
traveler, absolutely. There, I met people from all over the country and in so many different industries. Like one guy sitting at the table was an attorney. Another couple, they were e-commerce from like Tennessee. Someone else was a graphic designer from Texas, and we all just had the points and mouth bug, right? So it's great to build up a community and network with a great and diverse group of people. And another great thing I love about these conferences is that it helps broaden the scope of just how big credit cards, the credit space is. It's not as narrow, you know, as we like it to be. And I just love the game of credit. So it's like it's like a kid in the candy store grabbing for so much information, right? And just being able to put it all together and create new opportunities from learning even more about the different avenues within the credit industry. So those are the things that I enjoy. How about you?
I'm gonna say this. I remember my very first conference I went to. It was a Chicago seminar. It's the very first one I attended. I totally had this. We didn't have the term back then, but they have it now. We had this thing called imposter syndrome. I remember walking in there going, I don't know. I feel like I read every day. I literally read everything I could read every day for at least 2-3 hours a day. And when I finally went to my first conference, I felt like I feel like everybody here was just so well versed in it, and I wasn't. And I want to encourage folks who are considering going to a live in-person event, and if you're thinking twice about it, like, I don't know if I belong there, I don't know anybody, I just want to let everybody know that, that's a natural feeling to feel like that, even if you feel like you are. And by the way, you probably do know a lot more than the average person. Here's the thing: whenever you go to a conference, and I'll say this for myself, as someone who goes to a lot of conferences, even in my corporate life before I decided to start my own business, most people are trying to share about something that they love or they have in common. And I think that's the first thing. If you have the interest in it, that helps so much. If you just have interest in it, then you have something to talk about. Because that's the hardest thing when you first meet somebody you don't know. Is like, well, what are we going to talk about? Do I ask how
Right.
they are? I'm trying to find. All you're trying to do in that is you're trying to find something that you two have in common. I and I'll say this: majority of people, I've talked to my wife about this. Majority of people are probably introverts. Majority of people are not just going to walk up to people and say, "Hey, hi, my name's Ben." They just don't do that.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard to be like that. So I would say this: if you're trying to meet people, okay, and it's hard to say this. It's actually easy to say this, but it's hard for people to overcome. Is that focus? If you really just want to network and meet people when you go to conferences, the key thing is to not focus on yourself. Focus on trying to learn and be curious about other people. That means actually to listen. So you don't actually have to figure out what you want to say, but just get in there and just say, hi, my name is Ben. And says, I saw you folks chatting over here. It looks really interesting. What do you think of the conference? Or what's the best thing you heard? Have something that you want to open up with. What's the best thing you guys heard so far? And
Mm-hmm.
maybe you come prepared with one thing, and then maybe that opens up the conversation, goes somewhere. And if they're really interesting, they're going to be able to tell you that. And maybe you are interested. Oh wow, they did say something that I didn't catch. That what session were you in? Who spoke about that?
Yeah.
What did you like about that? Those are things that folks can be able to do when they be able to network. And when they go to these card conferences, or you're going to go to a points conference, and you go, I don't know anybody, I don't know anyone. It just starts there. I always say that everyone's a stranger until you get to know them.
Yep. It's been going to those conferences has been great for so many different reasons. Like you said, the meeting of people, growing your network, even sharing tips and tricks and gems. Like at CardCon, they had that at lunchtime. They did that trivia game, right? And I'm like, wow, I didn't know any of this stuff. Or being able to get even more insights into like laws that are affecting the credit industry, whether it's on the credit repair side or credit card side, and just being able to network and grow and being able to share platforms and audiences and just like really even just tips and tricks like you said, even just things like the getting out of Amex jail, or different ways to maximize your points, or little hacks to tweak to get even more cash back for our everyday spend. It's just a lot of great points because so many people are experts in their own particular niche. Like you're great of course with airlines, but you also chose to hone in specifically on hotels because people don't really talk about that.
Right.
And I focus a lot on credit repair, consumer protection, and I love credit cards. So I could talk all day every day about credit cards.
Yeah, and if folks don't know, by the way, Jamal, he got into. I found out from him, by the way, for all those listening. Jamal got involved in credit repair because he has a personal story. He found out that he was dead when he was applying for a loan.
Still
They said
crazy.
they closed out his account. He didn't have a score. You had what? No score because you were dead. Is that what it was?
Literally nothing, literally zero. It and after they told me, I tried to, you go on Credit Karma and it said we don't have enough data about you to give you a score. And I was like, what the hell? It was crazy. I didn't know anything about credit back then. This was like 2018. and I've been learning ever since that moment, right? So it's just been an obsessive game, and that's how I look at it now. At first, you start off foggy, it's confusing, it's frustrating, you don't know what's going on. But like anything, once you understand the system, it's kind of like you start seeing the coding in the matrix, right? You know exactly how things work. If I do this, this will happen, and then it turns into a game, and you start to learn like, all right, how much more can I finagle and tweak things so that the game is now in my favor. To win any game, we first got to know the rules. And that's what it's all about. Once you understand the rules of the game, you'll always be able to win it.
Jamal, I grew up in a time where my parents and their generation were heavily using credit to finance their lifestyle. They were basically living beyond their means. And so I think we also have a generation that kind of is hesitant to apply for credit and get more because they don't want to get themselves down that road. Although, as a country, we're still debt more than we were ever in the past. What do you think the next generation or the current generation of millennials and Gen Z, what is their attitude toward credit? Do they view it like it's a game? Do they view it as important? Are they scared of it? Or they learn from their elders? Like what is their perspective when you talk to them about credit?
It honestly, with that, it depends on who I talk to. So like shout out to the Jims family, my guy Renee, Steez, everybody. These guys are literally, even my guy Nico, shout out to them. They're literally between 18 and 25. All of these guys are literally turning credit into cash, literally making six figures a year at freaking 20 at like 21, 22 off of credit. So I think the idea is really, they've really mastered how to combine social media marketing and credit to build empires early. But that's, I think, even with them, they're it's an elite group, right? It's an elite group. And I think some of those ideas that we still have that maybe we pass on to our kids, because the majority of people in our age groups, they don't know, and they don't have the information to pass on to their children. And social media, Instagram is doing a lot. They do a great job of just keeping people enthralled in lifestyle marketing. So I think between lifestyle marketing, they do have the idea that, okay, basically, like, you're not where you need to be if you don't have a Lambo at 23. So they're like, how can I get as many credit cards as possible, flip it, and turn it into a Lambo by the time I'm 23? I'm 19 right now. I got like 3 years to get a Lambo, or else like my life ain't worth ain't
It's
worth what it should
it
be.
is it is unfortunate that the people that are being expected to do those things are also the ones that are most victimized actually by that kind of marketing, because it is victimization. It's like
Mm-hmm.
you don't make enough money, so get yourself in the debt or go find a way and kill yourself to try to impress somebody so that you can have a future, you know, so you can have a future somebody, as if that's really going to be the reason why they do it. It's, you know, the this is my challenge with some of it. One of my other mentees, I'm actually doing uh, co. My mentorship usually is on Thursday. I'm moving it to Wednesday because we're gonna bring the two mentorships together for a session
Mm.
on November 20th. We're gonna talk about Hyatt and how he just made a bunch of changes yesterday.
Yeah, I saw
So
that.
yeah, it'll be. I
Yeah,
actually think it's a good
yeah.
thing.
I
I
like
actually,
it.
I
Them.
actually think it's a good thing.
I
Um,
Yeah,
Go ahead. Go
as
ahead.
someone who's not, sorry to cut you off, as someone
Go ahead.
who's not a globalist yet, the fact that I'm able to experience the guest of honor after 40 nights, I thought that was pretty sweet. To And then be able to either gift it to myself, even as a non-globalist, or someone else, and still be able to earn those as I earn globalist and work my way up. I thought that was pretty dope. And also them adding more incentives all the way up to 150 nights. I thought that was pretty cool.
I
I'm a
actually,
fan
a
of
lot
it.
of people, I got a lot of emails and texts about people going, Ben, they listened to you about it. I have been advocating for over 100 nights for years now
Mm.
because I said, here's the thing. I'll say this. Here's the thing. Why would you want to limit the number of nights that an ultra? Now, by the way, very few people go over 100 nights,
Right.
but there's enough of them to say, why would you give them no incentive? Even if let's just say that, even if people can't do it, the fact that it's out there, some people will go for it.
Exactly.
Right?
They're going to
And make
strive
the
for it.
carrot,
Yeah.
make the carrot big enough that people want to go for it. Like, for example, they're given like Miraval nights, past 100 nights.
Yeah.
You
I
know,
saw
so
that.
like,
That's amazing.
I have questions about that as well, but that's a great way. By the way, they thought this thing out. By the way, I'm looking at it and I go, oh, okay. I like the way they thought it out, because instead of just saying we're going to give you a hotel that you can stay anywhere, they're kind of directing you to go. I want you to check out Miraval, and you know what? Let me tell you why Miraval. I was one of the first people to stay at Miraval in Tucson. There's only 3 Miravals in the world. Okay, the original one's in Tucson, the second one's in Austin, Texas, and the third one's in Berkshire in New York.
Oh, wow.
Miraval is not like another hotel. It's a wellness center. What I mean by wellness center is that it's an all-inclusive. Well, Hyatt already knows that people like all-inclusives. That's why they invested so much in all-inclusive. So that's the first thing. The second thing is, within the all-inclusive, is that you could be able to take an all-inclusive and go, what can we expect in an all-inclusive? Instead of kind of like the Cancun party, all, drink, all-inclusive, what if we went like a different direction? What if we went a direction where we talk about mindfulness, not just health, but mind and body and spirit, like that whole thing, the whole thing. And we make that experience all-inclusive, where they can literally leave their wallet at the door. Like this is a non-tipping facility. You can't tip. I've tried to tip them.
They will take it.
They won't take it. I tried multiple times. I wanted to test it. It's a non-tipping facility, number one. That's an awesome thing. To imagine to go to a property, you don't have to tip. Number 2, the food, the drink is all included. Actually, the only thing there is an upcharge for is wine. Since it's a wellness facility, they kind of want you to live healthy, but if you want to have wine and all that kind of stuff, you absolutely can. You can pay for that. But they give you this thing called a resort credit. So they give you money on top of the all-inclusive. So you go use at anything you want. So that anything that there's an upcharge for, then they can. But they have a ton of things that they include. Like, for example, if you're a guy, they got mountain biking. They got like all the active stuff. They got mountain biking. You can go there. They have archery. They got like a zip lining. They got obstacle courses. They got capoeira dance club. They got a lot of active stuff.
Yeah.
And if you're one of the ladies and go, you know what, I want to kind of chill a little bit more, they got meditation. They got aerial yoga. They got night yoga, morning yoga.
All the yoga.
Photography. They'll have photography classes.
Wow.
Flight. They have they'll have a wine class where you can taste different wines.
Yeah.
If you go to the Austin one, they have like a honey. They have like a beekeeping session. So you put on the whole beekeeping, and you go learn how to get your own honey.
Yeah.
And then you come back and you do a honey tasting session. I mean, you go to Tucson, they have a horse, and then they have a guy who's like a horse whisperer. The guy like knows the horses and teaches you about how you can learn about yourself through the horses, how calm you are, and how scared you are, and how to deal with fear. Anyways, after every session, they have like a whole discussion with you in the group about yourself, and discuss. It's like there's no event with. You come back and you're like, wow, this is like I went through therapy.
Are the experiences location specific?
There are specific things like the horse whisperer. That person who runs that, he's in the Tucson. The archery, the beekeeping is in the Austin. So they have some specific location specific. They do Reiki healing. You guys like Reiki? They do Reiki healing with the energy. That was at Tucson. So it depends on what is local in that particular area. They're not the only ones. There's another company called Canyon Ranch that I learned that they kind of took that concept from. But those guys don't do anything with points. So imagine you can get what I just talked about. That, by the way, that normally is probably going to cost you about $1,100 to $1,200 a night in the Tucson. you can get that for free with your Marriott, with your Hyatt points or with the Hyatt free night you're gonna get at the 100 night. So I think it's really really cool.
Yeah,
I think I wants to kind of focus people on the wellness piece of it and the all
absolutely.
inclusive, and they even have massages, not just one kind of massage. They have a whole massage facility, and you can use your credits
Hmm.
for that. By the way,
I
the
believe
free
that.
night one they're going to give you from Miraval is like a buy one get one free. By the way, it's not a it's a buy one get one free. I found out later,
Oh wow.
but
Yeah.
it's not bad at all. So you can be able to cut that down. I've gone during the summertime when it's a buy one get one free. It's a really good program to take a look at if you're looking at Hyatt.
Yeah, no, that's amazing. I can't wait until I am out of 524. I can't wait.
You'll
It's
be
going to
soon.
be
I know
great.
you're gonna hit it hard.
Oh,
I
oh,
know you'll hit it hard when you get.
man, I already have it mapped out. I have already known, of course, Hyatt Personal. I'm going to go for the Hyatt Personal, Hyatt Business, and the Built card.
Okay.
Built, there's no bonus, but I like Built because it's just so many ways to earn with it and transfer. What? They coming out with a
There
bonus?
is a bonus. There's a secret bonus.
What? Oh man, hold on. We gotta go offline for that. Hold on. What? There's a secret bonus. All right. You gotta tell me about
Yes.
this. You gotta tell me about
What?
it.
I'll tell you. I'll tell you right now. I'll tell everybody. Everyone who's listening to it, there's a secret bonus. People don't know this. They say there's no bonus, but they don't tell you until you sign up for the card, and then you get it. But
Mm.
it's not a regular bonus. It's not a 90-day bonus. You know how most of the time it's 3 months? Build gives you a 5-day bonus. Spend as much as you can, and you earn 5x.
Wow. Got
Up
it.
to up to 10 grand. If you spend up to 10 grand at 5x, you can earn up to 50,000 points. So
Damn.
if you're gonna apply for the build card and you know like you got a big expense coming up or a couple big expenses or you're gonna go buy a bunch of stuff,
Yep.
in the first 5 days they'll let you spend up to $10,000. You can get 5x on all on, and it's on any kind of purchase. It's not like limited by
Oh.
category. It's all. So
Oh,
they don't tell
Ben.
people that
Yeah, you
it's a
should.
5 day. So you can earn 50,000 points in the
Fifty
first five
thousand
days.
points. Yeah. Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
50,000
Five X. I'm
in the
go.
first 5 days.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
5x in the first 5 days.
shouldn't have told me that. Already. Okay. Already know. Already got part of my
So when
application
so when we
spree ready.
yeah,
Already.
so when we say go get the build card, that's what we're trying to say.
Yeah, get the built card, and if you already know how to manufacture spin, do those type of things, run it up. Definitely run it up. Another great thing I like about the built program is that for everyone, if you don't know, you can earn up to what 2 million points, or is it 2 million or 200,000 points through referrals?
2 million.
2 million points through referrals, even if you don't have the physical card.
Yep.
So if you guys are in,
Everyone needs to sign up for the loyalty program so
yeah,
you can get that. So
at
just
least
the
sign
membership
up.
is free.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because with the built program, you can earn points paying your rent. Even I just learned this, even without the card. So as long as you're in the program, you can still set it up for them to pay through built. They'll still send a check. You'll still earn the points, and you can still take part of like the rent day, the different games and promos that they have.
Interesting.
Yeah, and you can earn 2 million point. 2 million built points is like what 20 at least no $200,000 or 20 at least $20,000
Well,
in free
I mean,
travel, depending on how you redeem it.
$20,000. Yeah. So when folks try to do that math equation, I just say drop the last two zeros. So if you
Yeah,
drop the last 2 million, you're down to 20,000. So that's $20,000
yeah.
worth minimum.
Minimum.
Minimum. You could probably get $40,000 worth out of that, but
Easy.
by the way, their bonuses are like 2,500 at a time, unless it's unless you do like 5, 10,000. If you do 5, then they give you bonus on another 10. But
Yeah,
they were doing 10 like last month. They were doing like 10,000
yeah.
per referral.
Because
So
it
that was
seems
really
like their bonuses, and even when they do a transfer bonus, it's almost like monthly. It seemed like the last, like close to the end of the summer, they had a different transfer bonus partner almost monthly.
they kicked it off with Hawaiian, which was one of their partners, and they did 100% bonus. We've never seen that.
It's
Then they went
crazy.
to next one. They went to Air France, flying blue. They said we're going to do 100% bonus with that too. So they did the next one. They did that. Then the month after that, they said Okay, let's look at Emirates. Okay, well, if you're the bottom tier, you're going to get like 75%, then 100, then 125. It went all the way up to 175% bonus, which is almost like two times. So if you get like 10K, it would become almost like 28K, some crazy thing
What?
like that. So it's really
Yeah.
good.
And with Emirates, no one's doing that. Like I've never seen
No,
that.
nobody's
Even
doing
with
it close to 100.
yeah, even
No.
with Marriott, they're because you can transfer Marriott points to Emirates. It's still like a 3 to 1. You got to transfer about like it's 3 to 1, and you have to transfer I think a minimum of something like 10 to 20,000 points from your Marriott account over to Emirates. And I was like, mm. But Built is amazing. If any of you guys want to sign up and take part of the Built loyalty program or apply for the card, just DM me the word Built and I'll send you over a referral link. Again, Built is amazing. You don't need the card to take advantage. You don't need the card to get referral bonuses. And those points are invaluable because it's the only one I know of where you can transfer your points to American Airlines, Hyatt, and Emirates.
Yeah.
Which
I mean, I would actually say that Built is probably the I know I'm being blasphemous at this point now, but I want to say I probably think Guild is probably the most valuable points program in the market. If I just had to have one and I couldn't have another, I would just have Guild and give me 2 million Guild points, and I'd be more than happy because I basically could do anything. Because they cherry picked some of the best Blue Bank points, the best Amex points, the best City and Capital One, and they put it all together and they throw in American as well. And this is the thing, I don't even think they're done. I think they're going to add more.
You think so? Because I mean, it's like how much better can they get? 'Cause even some of their perks, it rivals Reserve. I mean, they have primary rental car insurance as a free credit card. Like I don't know of another card, a free one that offers primary rental insurance.
No. And the reason that is because if you look at the bottom of the card, it's a World Mastercard Elite card. So being a World Mastercard Elite card, usually get that only at those $450 levels. So imagine taking the perks from those $450 cards and put it on a card that has no annual fee. Just and just give everybody an idea. The people that run the loyalty program at Build, these people are points and miles fanatics. Those people who are at that program have all the other cards. They know what all the other cards offer, and they go, "We're going to take the best ones and add it on the Build card." So if you're wondering, it's not just like some kind of fintech.
Right.
Like it's a fintech, but they bolted up with people who are like us. If you were to design, here's the thing. Do you know why there's no sign up bonus? I'm going to tell you why there's no sign up bonus.
I can make an assumption, but I'm gonna let you tell everybody.
No. But let me hear. What do you think the assumption is why they don't offer the sign up bonus?
I think because of all the value that's in the points in their transfer partners.
Well, if you're a company, okay, how about this? How many times have you ever signed up for a credit card? You got it for the bonus, and then you put it away and you never use it again.
Countless times.
Right?
Countless times. Okay. All the time.
This is their concern. They were concerned that when they came out, if they did the same thing, you would do that to their card. They don't want you to do that to their card. They want you to put that card in your wallet.
Yeah.
So they're trying to figure out how do I get them to use that card? Because remember, there's no fee for rent, right? There's no fee for rent.
Right.
So they have to make up that fee in the swipe charges.
Yep. Because so you have to swipe it 5 times to get the points.
Because they have to figure out how do they make the economics work. If we make rent free and you get points from that, we're not going to earn any money there, and we're actually taking a loss. How are they going to make up for it? Well, they're going to have to swipe it. Well, how do I get them to swipe it? Well, what's the most popular card?
Oh man, he dropped off. Hopefully he comes back. Man, it was getting good too. What y'all think about that? What are your thoughts on the Build card? I love it. I absolutely love the Build card. Josh, man, it was great meeting you at FTU, man. Hopefully we connect again next year. Hey, all right, he's back. He's back. Let's get him back in. Let's see. Is he back in? Oh man, Ben, where'd you go? Damn. Then turned on video. Okay, you back? I can
I'm back.
hear
Sorry.
you. I can hear you. I just can't see you. But I think that may be my phone. But I can definitely hear you.
Okay. Yeah, I can see myself.
Okay. Yeah. I I don't know.
But here's the thing: they wanted people to swipe the cards regularly and buy. They had to take the sign-up bonus
Yep.
points
Mm-hmm.
and shift it somewhere else, and that's
Mm-hmm.
how they give it 100%. If anybody's wondering how can they get the 100% and all that kind of stuff, they shifted the 50, 60,000 they would normally have given us, and they said, here, if you spend on this card, we'll give it to you. If you play in our game, we'll give it to you. If you get our card first, we want people who are really going to get the card, not just for the sign up bonus. That was the reason. That was the idea behind it. So if people are concerned they're not going to get a big sign up bonus, yeah, they're not going to get a big one,
Yeah.
but they're going to get about the lifetime, because as they start using the cards, that was it. They were trying to change our behavior and go, replace your blue band card, replace your gold card, use our card. Our
Yeah.
card is better. Our points are better. That was the whole idea of it.
Yeah.
And I think successful job of doing that. If anyone's, for all the naysayers who not used to this, they were trying to break the mold and try to be a disruptor. In a
Yeah.
sense, they were a disruptor by not. I mean, it's actually disruptive to offer a big card and go no sign up bonus. That's actually quite disruptive if you think
Yeah.
about it.
I and I think they did a amazing job. And even like you said, they don't have that initial bonus, which just like you, I hear a lot of people say they stay away from the built card for that reason. But on the flip side, they give you so many different ways to earn points throughout the ownership of having a card. And the fact that you can transfer it into so many different partners, so many different ways, and on the back end have so many opportunities to transfer with a bonus. Like even if we're not talking about the transfer bonus, they will also have different partnerships where you'll get like instant status. Like a couple of months ago, that's how I got United Silver. I got United Silver. They had a partnership with Hyatt, right? At one point, or promo or something. There
Yeah, the
was
Build Global. That was a partnership of the year, I think.
yeah.
That was the best. That was the best thing. They did it open for 5 days for anybody who had the Build program or download the Build
Yeah.
card
Yeah.
or Build program, the loyalty program. In 5 days, if you had downloaded and became a member, you were automatically entered in their Global's challenge for 20 nights.
20 nights.
So instead of
And that
60
was
nights, only
and that was perfect timing. It's like everyone they know they talk to each other on the back end because that was right after the previous MGM and Hyatt partnership. Their globalist special ended.
yeah, it
Yeah,
was. And it was there was a little overlap right at the end, but it was perfectly timed right around that time.
perfectly
Yeah,
timed. Yep, it was like basically your second chance for anyone who was in the
it's
game
super.
and looking for it. With the now, you probably have some ideas or no. Like I'm very interested in how the fast track to globalist will work next year, in conjunction with these changes that they made to the program. I'm very interested in seeing how that will go, especially since they're no longer with MGM. So now, if they run it again, it's a lot more profitable for them, a bit more expensive for us because that the MGM and Hyatt partnership was a major hack, major.
I personally didn't rely on MGM, although I know a lot of people did. That's that's not a revenue source for them at all because the
Right.
money's all going in. so, so
Exactly.
it's not even like Hyatt was. It was almost like Hyatt was giving it to you
Yeah.
via the MGM for free in essence, because there was no real profit share there at all.
Ex-
There was no money made if you're using cheap nights at MGM.
yeah.
So I think moving forward, if they offer it again, if I don't know if they're going to offer it, it's always like, how is it going to come? Right now I can tell you this: if you are a corporate, if you work for a big corporation, you may be eligible. Like you work for Blue Bank or you work for something like that. You may be able to get a corp. And by the way, the challenge is instead of 60 nights in 12 months, they're going to ask you to do 20 nights in 90 days.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And they did that with AA folks too this past year. If you were AA, they offer
Yeah.
and you have status, you'd also get that challenge as well. But you never
They
know. They don't.
oh, sorry to
Sorry,
cut you
Barry.
off. I
Go ahead.
just got the email maybe like last month. They're running that special again where if you have status with AA, they'll match it to a corresponding Hyatt status up to globalist. So if you're executive platinum with AA,
Yeah.
you'll get globalist.
I Here's the thing: if folks are really interested in getting high globalist, if that is something you're looking at getting,
Mm-hmm.
I can't think of any other reason not to get AA status. If you're looking to get both, you're going to
Mm-hmm.
pick an airline. AA is a natural partner.
Yeah.
It's been Delta with Hilton. It's always been uh, Marriott with the Blue Bank. It's always been like they have a banking relationship,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and I did not have a partner, and American did not have a partner. It was literally the only two hanging out there. So for a long time, I was in both programs, but they never had a relationship. So when they merged, it was no change for me. I just benefited from it. It was great. Like they would get matched. I'm like, I'm already globalist on one side, I'm already executive platinum on the other. But it was good to see. You're going back to your original question. Says, what was it going to look like next year to requalify? I will
Mm-hmm.
say this. I think I will tell people, and I told my master class students this: it is much easier to requalify than to qualify. It's much enjoyable to requalify than to qualify. Let me tell you why. Because when you're first going out to go get it, you're like, I remember when I wasn't a globalist. I remember when I was in a diamond, back then they used to call it diamond.
Mm-hmm.
You don't get the upgrades. You're going through a lot of nights. You're trying to find the nights. You're trying to stay at a lot of the cheap hotels so that you could be able to just get the nights in. Jamal, there was a time when when I first qualified, we didn't have the current system of 60 nights right now. We used to have something called 50 nights. Diamond was 50 nights, or it was it's 50 nights or 25 stays. Now, a stay from a Hyatt or from any kind of hotel brand is
Uh-huh.
one. So a stay could be one night minimum, but it needs to be, in order to constitute a stay, you need to check in and check out of a hotel. Okay?
Mm.
You cannot check in back to the same hotel the next day. You can't check in, check out the same hotel 60 nights in a row. That doesn't work like that. You need to check in, go somewhere else. And then if you want to come back the day after the day before, so if there has to be like a gap between, you can. So what some of us used to do back in the old days said, well, if I did 25 one night stays, that's better than trying to do 50 nights, right? Does that make sense? Because now we
Yeah,
just do 25. Okay, so this is what we used to do
absolutely.
back then. We would do, if we went to a city and there was like if you go to Colorado, Denver, they have a Grand Hyatt and a Hyatt Regency 1 block away from each other. You could literally go one and then go check out and go the
Just
other
go
night.
back.
And that would be a night stay. So go back and forth, back and forth. That you could do that. And so I would do that on my business trips. I would do 3 nights. I would do check in one night, go check out the other night, come back. It was a pain in the ass for me, but I got 3 nights out of it I've got 3 stays out of it instead of 1 stay.
Right.
And so for all the haters who are 60 night global, oh well, all these people got in. They're globalist light. They're baby globalists. Bro, do you remember when we used to do 25? So I don't hate on anyone who does get there. You know, it's totally fine because in Hyatt's eyes, there's only one such thing as there's only one globalist. There's no mini globalist or whatever. You know, either globalist or not.
Yeah.
But they do have these. Now they do want to reward people who stay more.
Yeah.
Than right. So they have these milestones. So once you get globalist, if you do come under a challenge, the milestone is to say, hey, if you went 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, whatever, every 10, you're going to get extra perks.
Yeah.
And they've added now. They're giving us 2,000 extra points. They're giving us a more globals. Now they're going to change they're going to make guest of honor more of a milestone than just like a perk. So I think there's a lot of 29 folks.
I'm excited about the sorry to cut you off. I am excited about the introduction of the guest of honor because I'm not a globalist yet. I'm discoverist. So, I'm planning for I have my fingers crossed where they have the challenge running next year, along with their other this past year for like it was like a 45-day, maybe 60-day window where you could triple dip and you had the globalist special going on, the stay at 5 and get a free reward night, and they had like a what was it? You get 2,000 points for every 2 stays,
Yeah.
right? Having that all three of those happening at one time. I'm hoping they do that again so I can rack up the nights and a few guest of honor passes. That would be great. That's what I'm like have my eye on for next year. I'm waiting for that triple dip to pop back up.
Well, I think whenever there's a promo, I suggest everyone always register. Even if you don't think you're going to take advantage of it, I say just do it anyway because
Yeah.
you never know. The cutoff time, and the next thing you know, you may be on a plane a week later, 2 weeks later, and you're like, I'm staying at IHG. Oh, I'm staying at a Hyatt. Well, I'm staying at a
Yeah.
Marriott. Always register for them, and sometimes they do. By the way, the sleeper card too, that's similar to that is the Hyatt personal card. The Hyatt personal card, in my opinion, is a better card than the business card, generally speaking. But there's not a big sign up bonus. It used to offer 60. Now they make it 30 and 30, but it's a lot of spend for it
It is
to
a
get
lot
the
of
other 30.
spin. Yeah.
Yeah. So there's nothing. That's not the reason you get it. I think the reason you get it is if you're staying at Hyatt, you're going to earn 4x, which no one else really offers that. And so, um,
With
Hyatt points are equivalent to a Blue Band point, so it's no different from that perspective. But you can be able to take those points that you have and then turn it into really cool stays. And then they sometimes actually offer a rebate. Like, for example, if you stay there, there'll be at least once a year with a promo like this. If you stay at a Hyatt place, a Hyatt Regency, something like that, and you make a redemption of 20,000, if you have the credit card,
yeah,
we'll give you back. We'll give you back 20% of your points back.
oh, I like that.
If you have the card, and that's only for the.
You said it's only for which card?
The personal. Sometimes they've done it for the business, but they've done it for both.
And you can spin your way to Globalist on either card, or is it just the personal card?
No, either way.
Either way,
can
yeah.
be.
But it's an ungodly amount, right? It's like freaking.
Yeah.
Is it like 100?
Yeah. 1,000.
Yeah.
40,000. It's basically if you spend 10,000, if you spend 5,000 on the card, you get 2 elite night credits. If you spend get 4 elite night credits. That's on the personal. But if you spend 10 on the business, you get 5 elite night credits. So you get there a little quicker, maybe a little bit less, maybe like 120,000 or so.
Yeah.
On the business, still a lot. It's still a lot. I would say this: if you don't ever plan to stay at a Hyatt and you had to spend your way all the way there, I don't know why you're going for Globalist if you're never going to go stay. So it should be making up the difference. Like it should be making up. At that point, if you're not going to spend anything and you got that much spend on it, I mean, unless you really love Hyatt points, but it doesn't sound like if you're not staying any nights ever. So I don't think anybody should like only use it. But hey, let's say you're down 10 nights or 5 nights and you don't think you can be able to stay anymore, then and you can't find a hotel that's less expensive, then just put the spend on there and make up the difference. You can do it that way on the card. So I think that's what it was designed for.
So I have a question for you, Ben. I have a question because I've been looking at because I already got it all mapped out in my mind, but I'm going to ask your opinion. So I've been looking at, hitting my Hyatt bonuses, both cards next year when I'm out of 524 and taking a month-long trip to Bali from the bonuses, right? Because what is it? I think it's the Grand Hyatt Bali where the nights are as low as like 5,000, maybe 3,500. Where else, okay, besides there, in your opinion, would be good to just splurge a whole 120,000 Hyatt points? Let's say for like a month-long stay.
If you're going to be a long time, then the category 1 Hyatt Regency is fantastic. It's in Sanur Beach. Sanur Beach is pretty cool. It's like on the southeastern side of Bali, and it's. But I will say this:
Hmm.
the nice hotel, the one that you like want to Instagram, that has a great, and it's brand new. They only opened it in 2020. Like the
Oh
prime
wow.
minister came to the ribbon cutting ceremony. Okay, it's called the Andaz Bali.
Hmm. Hmm.
It's great. The Andaz Valley is great. It's beachside. The rooms are nice. The room is new. It's very good quality. I think you'll like it there. And literally next door to it, is the Hyatt Regency. Literally next door. Like they're owned by the same property owners. So they own the Andaz and they own the Hyatt Regency. And the Hyatt Regency has a lounge too. So imagine staying there for 5,000 points.
Hmm.
Locals, you'll have lounge access. That means you can eat breakfast and dinner, and
Mm,
it's just the restaurant's fantastic over there.
love
And
it.
Sanur, at Sanur, they got Italian restaurant. They got a lot of. They have things that you can walk on. You're right. You know, there's a street with a lot of different places. You can do your dry cleaning there or your laundry for
Hmm.
cheap, and you could be there for a month. And just think about this.
That's the plan.
Sometimes,
I'm gonna when it's because I'm in
we'll see.
DC. It's
Here's where
cold here right now. I'm gonna be there December next year, all on points.
That's good. You stay longer. I'm doing a trip this year to Thailand in January because I can't do December because everybody always has conflicts in December. Everybody's with their family. But
Hmm.
December's Thailand. So Bali, similar situation. Um, I will say this. I think December, January for most people, I think it's getting out now. Like I think people find out that Southeast Asia is one of the best places to go during Christmas time. It's actually not a good time to go during summertime, which is where people want to go. They go, summer, let me go to Southeast Asia. I'm like, it's not. Why it's not the best. They run into like monsoons and stuff like that.
Oh
So if
wow.
you're trying to like the beaches and stuff like that,
Hmm. Hmm.
you, where there's a 50-50 chance where it's going to rain out. And
Gotcha.
if you like, fine. But if you're looking for like sunny beaches and things like that, yeah, it's like that.
Oh, hola.
Hola,
Say, talk
hola,
about
like
countries like they're supermarkets. That's funny. Oh man, that's hilarious. It's true though. It's true.
it's
Um,
but you'll like that. The other one is the Hyatt Regency in Seminyak. Now, if you go to
Seminyak.
Cheng, no, this is okay, so on
Hmm.
the southeast side is you have Sanur, right? There's a Hyatt Regency like directly northwest, okay, and it's called Seminyak. Seminyak is a nice area with nice hotels, and then a little bit south of that is close to a place called Chengdu or Chengdu.
Hmm.
Anyway, that's where like all the nightclubs are at and all the partying. If you want to go do that, that's a great thing there.
This is all in, and this is all Indonesia, right?
Bali is big, by the way.
Oh, I didn't realize.
Bali.
I'm thinking of going to different cities outside of Bali every time you name someplace different. But all of this is in Bali. Got it.
Okay, so let me clarify this for you. Never
Yeah.
been. Indonesia is like one of the largest countries that's divided into like 100 plus islands.
Okay.
Just imagine if California was an island, and
Mm.
then it was an island, and then New York was an island. So and it's all kind of so you actually need to fly from one island to the other island if that makes sense.
Oh,
Bali,
got it. Okay.
yeah, if you're going to Bali,
Yeah.
you're in Bali, but anywhere.
Got it. Okay. I didn't know that. I just watch it on
So
Instagram, and I'm like, I'm gonna
think of
go
it,
there, run up these
yeah.
points.
In fact, you can go from Bali to
Hmm.
this other manure. They have a pier, and you can go by boat to another island and you go see the beautiful cliffs and things like that. So little islands and things like that. So that's what you're gonna get. So Bali is like a big island. What's unique about Bali within Indonesia is Indonesia is one of the most Muslim countries in the world,
Hmm. Hmm.
but Bali is not Muslim. So here's the interesting thing. Indonesia as a country, all these is one of the biggest. It actually has one of the largest populations in the world. I think it has like number 4, number 5 population in the world. Just think about this. Like this country that are islands has like one of the largest populations in the world.
Mm.
The island of Bali is unique from the rest of the country in that what's unique about them is that from a religion standpoint, they're not Muslim, Hindu.
Oh wow.
But they're the
That's
only
unique.
Hindu. So Hindu, from India is very much more liberal. Like in Thailand kind of this is too, but we're Buddhist, but it's kind of Hindu Buddhist. But
Yeah.
here's the idea: like the religious aspect of you can't eat this, you can't eat that, you got to cover. You don't have that in Bali.
Right.
You don't have it in Bali. Saying that you should be respectful, and that's the thing. Sometimes I think we have people out there trying to, make it into a whole Instagram shoot in front of a religious shrine, which you probably shouldn't do those kind of things. Maybe,
Right.
let's not go way in front of their Hindu god. But here's the interesting thing about it: their houses have to be built with a temple.
Has to be built with a temple.
Every house. Okay, you know how you're building a house? You have a bedroom, a bathroom. They have the bedroom, bathroom, and it's required by law when they build a house. Because it's a Hindu country or it's a Hindu island, you must have a space for a temple.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So house, when you walk in, looks like a temple, but it's their house. And then to the right, now you can put it on the right of the house, you can put it on the top of the house, but there has to be a room when they build it out that there's a temple that's like required. It's really interesting.
That is super interesting.
So they have 2 kinds of temples: a house temple and like a regular. So not only do you have your house temple, but then you also have temples around it.
Right.
So literally like temples everywhere.
Wow. Man, that's amazing. That's super
Amazing.
Interesting. Now correct me if I'm wrong. Speaking of how homes are built in different countries, right? I was told in Thailand, you have 2 kitchens. Is that true?
Yes. Practically speaking, there's an indoor kitchen and an outdoor kitchen.
Now, all right, but they weren't able to tell me why. Is it something to do with like because of the spices or the ingredients or?
So my wife complains. My wife complains right now. She'll go and complain. But when you cook Thai food, man, when I'm cooking like the chili, I need when we first moved into this house, I had to get one of the hoods. I said I can't just buy them damn regular hood. It needs to be like a super power hood because when the chili and the smoke goes up, the whole kitchen into the living room you're gonna be coughing your way out of this house. Like that. So most Thai people don't, if they're living in like a condo or whatever, you can't, or if you're living at, you don't. So you have to have your nice looking kitchen. Like when you grew up, your mom had the dining room table, but nowhere ate at the dining room table.
Right.
You ate at the kitchen table, whatever.
Right.
Like that kind of concept. Like you got the bath, you have the regular indoor kitchen where you cook all the regular things. But if you're gonna go deep fry something, if you're gonna do something where it's gonna smell the house, go do it outside.
The real food, the good food, where the spice and everything comes into play. Yeah.
So you find yourself a lot because you're doing a lot of stir frying or anything with the chilies. You're gonna cook it outside. A really good observation that you made. How'd you hear about that?
I met somebody who lived in Thailand for like 3 years, and that's what they told me. I was like, really? Wow. So I assumed it was like you said due to the spices and the chili because Thai food is very spicy. I love spicy food, so I can't wait to go to Thailand and get some like authentic, burn my mouth. Like I gotta run to the bathroom, spicy food. Like it's gonna be amazing. It's gonna be so good.
The best dish. The number one dish in Thailand is not pad thai. Number one dish in Thailand, I would almost argue, is if it's not pad see ew, it would be, which is a noodle dish with egg and Chinese broccoli, is probably my favorite dish, which is typically some type of meat. Usually Thailand's gonna be pork, so it's gonna be ground pork with mint leaves, and then they put soy sauces, fish sauce, and oyster sauce, and then they stir fry it. Then they put it over better rice. So that dish you can go have in the hotel, but I'm going to tell you the best is you go down the street It's not necessarily a street vendor,
Mm-hmm.
but you're a restaurant that's open air. Think of a restaurant that has no front gate or door. It's
Right.
just kind of a right. So you
Mm-hmm.
go in there,
Mm-hmm.
or maybe it's open air, maybe it's like a little shack, but like those where it's like you're gonna see like somebody who's been working there every day. Like, and then if you get a crowd, you get a local group. That's the one. That's how you think of it. And it's unassuming. There's maybe no signage or whatever.
Yeah.
That's gonna be that.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to it. You said January. I'm going to try and make that trip
oh,
in January. Man,
only taking 50, by
we've
the
been
way.
on
I'm only
for. Uh-huh. Go ahead.
no. I'm saying I'm only gonna take actually 12. I'm only gonna take about 12, 13 people. So it'll be a very cool tour. I have a really nice itinerary lined up. I have a street food. I have a. Have you ever been in a tuk tuk before? A tuk tuk is like a three-wheel motorized vehicle with like a carriage. Imagine a carriage on a motorcycle, like
I've
being
seen it. I've never been in one. I've
okay.
seen it.
So I have a planned tuk tuk tour. We're all gonna have our own tuk tuks, drive through, and we're gonna do a street food tour at night. At night, we're gonna do a night
Oh,
street
that's
food
gonna be
tour.
crazy.
Yes,
I'm
yes.
looking forward to that.
And then we're gonna do a very nice like upscale river dinner cruise. Like you'll be on the down the Jalbia River,
Mm-hmm.
like in a up, like some traditional Thai food, but down the river in a like a really nice upscale dinner on the river. So we'll do that as well. So you get to have dinner on the river and see some of the beautiful highlights of Bangkok, some of the top temples out there. We'll do that. We'll have one of the top Michelin star food courts out there. That's one on the itinerary on our free day,
Mm-hmm.
and we'll
Oh,
do some great. They have great malls, and then we'll be able to also go down to Phuket. So we're gonna fly down from Bangkok down to Phuket. It's a 9-day trip. You guys are gonna love it. It'll be fantastic. We're
yes.
gonna go highland with a catamaran in there. We'll do some snorkeling. It's gonna be a lot of fun.
I was about to say, it sounds like I'm gonna need a nap. I was like, you're gonna have to leave me on the boat on one of these trips. I need a nap. Oh, it's a lot going on. But
You won't
man,
be
look.
hungry. It's gonna be. I have a 9-day setup.
Mm-hmm.
Since globalists, I've told the managers at the hotel that we have a globalist group coming, which is true. Most of the people coming are, but you don't have to be.
Mm-hmm.
But you'll globalists anyway, so they'll treat you like one.
Perfect.
But
I would take full advantage.
the last time I did this was right before COVID, 2020.
Mm-hmm.
Actually had a brand new hotel, a little good relationship with the manager. We actually will turn the lounge. You know how we have lounge access?
Yeah.
I'm going to turn that on another level. We're going to take the lounge to the rooftop bar just for us. So they're going to have the lounge for everybody else, and then we're going to be on the rooftop, and they're going to bring the lounge and the food to us on the rooftop bar.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. That
Yeah.
Ben, you know how to host. I'm gonna tell you, you the host with the most right here. You know how to put an event together. So Ben, we've been on here for a minute. I definitely appreciate you tapping in. Honestly, I wasn't even expecting to stay on this long, but I'm glad you were able to tap in. Thanks so much for sharing all the insight. Definitely also want to let you know if you or any of your clients, I am putting actually hosting and launching a new class. It's actually going to be a course completely dedicated to reversing and removing late payments, because that's one of the biggest things that's impacting both entrepreneurs and credit card enthusiasts, because one late payment can keep you from all the things that we just spoke about regarding all the different credit cards, the points to transfer. All of it becomes irrelevant if you miss one payment. So I'm actually going to
One,
be launching that in January.
you know what? I actually think I may have one by accident, but I may have one. I may take this class.
Yeah. So that's actually going to be in January. It's going to be January 15th that I'm
Okay.
going to start promoting that, and that's going to be launching in the new year, so that we can keep getting these points, these miles, traveling and taking full advantage of these credit cards. But also, everybody, you haven't done so, definitely reach out. Feel free to add me on Instagram, TikTok. I am Jamal the Credit Protector. And also, when it comes, if you're interested in getting the Built card or joining the Built program, definitely just shoot me the word Built. That is BILT via inbox, and you'll get the link to join the Built loyalty program. I definitely appreciate it so much, Ben. Anything else you wanted to drop with for the folks?
My trip starts on the 18th. So after you're done with your class, you can jump on a plane and head over there.
Absolutely. I'm looking forward to that, man. So thanks a lot, Ben. Again, always great talking to you, my brother. And I'll holler at everybody. Thanks everybody for tapping in. See you guys later. Peace.